Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. So this is about the times my ex-boyfriend tried to kill me. First things first, when we started dating, I didn't want to date, right? I didn't want a boyfriend at the time. I was in school and I just wanted to focus on my studies. I had cool friends around me, and I had life going on for me. It was good. Like I didn't care for a boyfriend. But this guy, he wouldn't stop pushing, asking me out, so many things he did to try to get me. And back then my understanding was like, oh, if the guy really likes you, he's gonna chase you to the very end. That's my understanding then. But right now I don't particularly agree with that, because sometimes when they chase you, probably just obsession, right? Or is lost. Doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, they like you so much. So if you're watching this video and you're in this kind of situation, you want to be a bit careful. If the guy is chasing you for weeks, months, and acting like he'll die for you, take a grenade for you, it doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, he's the one or he's such a great guy. Not necessarily. So you have to be careful and look out for red flags and stuff like that. Anyways, like I said, that was my mentality back then. And with time, I'm like, I reluctantly said, okay, fine. I'll give it a try and let's see how it goes, right? And when I started dating this person, I was doing extra stuff like ushering jobs and other things to get myself extra bucks while I was in school. These things I was doing, my parents were aware of it, my siblings were aware of it, so it was nothing bad or anything, out of the ordinary. Before I started, my father was against it, but with time I convinced him that I wanted to do it. And there were rules, right? I couldn't travel outside Lagos for jobs or stuff like that. So when it came to jobs outside Lagos, I just knew that my dad wouldn't accept, so there was no need pushing. I had the rules that were laid out at home, and I followed them, as much as I could, which this guy was aware of, at least at the time we started dating. Then we start dating, and he starts to have a problem with me doing these jobs. Every time I tell him, oh, I have an audition or I have a gig somewhere or something, it starts to flare up. Sometimes he won't say much. Then when I've gone and come back, he'll stop talking to me. He'll stop trying to reach out. If I try to reach out, he'll ignore me, being all weird and stuff. And he'll be like, our girls that do this thing, most of them sleep around, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't sleep around. You already know that, or I believe you should know that. I'm doing what I can to make extra bucks, and I'm keeping it all clean and legit. I don't have time to sleep with some guy or do one or two things just because I want to get a job. This is not a career. I'm not trying to make a career out of it. It's just, for the meantime. So why would I want to go over and beyond just because? No. But still, we always fight about it. And he was so insecure in that aspect, whenever I tell him I'm going for stuff like that. But the funny thing, I'll go for these gigs, come back with money, because I collect my money immediately after the job. And most times it's when I just come back from these jobs, he start giving me sub story. Oh, my car broke down, or my this happened, that happened. He's not going to tell me directly to give me money, but he will be, giving me sub stories. Most times I'll be like, I just came back from job, this is how much they paid me. I got 20k, I got 10k, I got 15k. Maybe you can set out your issue, and then when you're good, you give me back the money. I'll be like, oh, I don't like taking money from you. I don't really know, blah, blah, blah. Baby, take it. And I cannot tell you how many times this happened and I never got my money back, right? And we moved on like that. Fine. I'll get the next week and I'll move on my life. But it was always causing fights. And he always used this word, right? You're too stubborn. You don't let me control you. Why do you want to control? Back then I was younger, right? Maybe I didn't really understand how bad that word sounds really. But he always used that I'm so stubborn. I don't like, him controlling me. I don't let him control me. I could not understand it, but okay. And then another thing he used to do, he yells at me in public, he's mad at me or something. At that point in time, he can just yell at me on the streets. I remember one day I came back from this my ushering jobs and everything, and he was so mad at me that I went for that job, and I came to just say hi because I was around this area, so I was like, let me say hi before going back to school. And as he just saw me from afar, he just started yelling. I was just, his friends were outside with him, just standing outside with him, started yelling. I'm always pissing him off. I'm always doing stuff he said I shouldn't do, blah, blah, blah. And then he went, I remember that he said things like, he called his ex name, and he was like, she can't even try that with me. She dey fear me. She can't even try that me, blah, 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 blah. God, that day I almost lost my cool. It was one of his friends that were like, calm down, told him, nah, don't talk like that. Now you talking to her like that in public and even talking about your ex from this. It's like, I just like tell him that, look, if your ex is so afraid of you and that's how you like it, go and date your ex. I don't have time for this. Please, I can't do this. Anyways, that was that for the ushering job part. So when I got to 300 level, at the end of 300 level, you have to go for CWS IT. So I had my friend hook me up with someone who was working in a company related to what I was studying. The guy reached out to me, told me what to expect. He linked me with another lady in the exact department where I was supposed to work. So both of them used to call me sometimes to tell me what's up, the procedure and everything. One of the days he called me, rather, was one of those days where he just calls to check up and also tell me what next. And just happened that this particular day he called me as the boyfriend was around. And then he called me, I picked up, and we're just talking on the phone. By the time I hung up, he just charged at me, and he was like, who is that? Every time guys are calling you, blah, blah, blah. And I just got a slap on my cheek. I was flabbergasted. I was confused. Why am I getting slapped? What exactly did I do? Like, this guy didn't even come to hit on me. Like, he has to do my IT. I was shocked. I just, kept yelling. Guys are always calling you. Who is this phone? Blah, 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 blah. Only for him to, after yelling, took the phone, checked, and he saw that the person that called is the person I told him about that's helping me with the IT thing. And you know how these people behave? They don't start to apologize and like, oh my God, I don't know what came over me. It's not me, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I was waiting for the slap that will put me in a coma for me to have sense, because that's the moment I should have taken my 2 legs and also, but somehow after he begged and begged and begged, I forgave him. A few months after I started my IT, most times where the route I took to go to work and come back, I passed through his side especially when I'm coming back. I passed through his side. So I always stop by to say hello, maybe just spend like 15 minutes, say hello before going to my house, because it's just, we're living too far from each other, at the time. So I'll pass by, and then this particular day was one of those days where I passed by. I can't really remember what we were arguing about. We're arguing about something. So we're both sitting on the couch, and I was sitting here, he was sitting here, and we're arguing. As I was trying to like put my points out there and say whatever it is, and I was just talking. Next thing, he gets all heated up, and I wasn't really looking at him. I was just talking. Like I said, it's not like I was like this, he was like this. So I was just talking. I didn't even realize how all flared up he was. Next thing, as I was still talking, he used his backhand on my mouth. I held my mouth, and next time I removed my hand, I was bleeding. There was blood coming out from my mouth. Like, slap literally tore my gum and busted my lip. I can't remember if it was my upper lip or my lower lip, but it busted my lip and I was bleeding. Like, I'm not even exaggerating, it was bad. Hey! And he just went, this time I didn't even say, well, I'm sorry or whatever. He was just went, when I'm talking, you're talking, blah, blah, blah. Every time you're trying to sound all smart and stuff, you're talking back at me, blah, 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 blah. How dare you? I just stood up, took my bag and my bleeding gum, and bleeding mouth. I went home. I can't remember how I managed to. At what point I stopped to get water, wash my mouth, and clean it so that when I get home, they don't notice us. Because at the time, they didn't even know I was seeing someone. And how do I dare go home and tell them I'm seeing someone? That's one strike. And then two strike, he's a violent motherfucker. Huh? I have three brothers. That guy would have probably been in his grave if they found out. So, because I was really beating myself for even allowing that happen in the first place. So I was in that point where I don't know what to do, but I'm looking for a way out, but I haven't seen the way out. But I know that I've messed up. I shouldn't be here. I've messed up. I can't remember. I think there was a middleman that helped fix the issue. Again, huge mistake, terrible mistake. So anyways, somehow foolish me, we made up and we try to push things for a little bit. So when I finished my IT, I remember when I got into final year, went to Ghana, and it was a field trip. Coming back, on my way back, I got stuff for him. I remember getting this shirt. I don't remember how to describe the shirt, but it's kind of all Ghanaian-ish for him. And then got other stuff for my family. When I came back, I gave him the shirt, and it was sleeveless, and the guy is not really buff with shoulders and all that. So I told him, I'm going to buy an inner shirt that you wear with this shirt to bring out the beauty. And he's like, cool. I got him two inner shirts, I think one white, one black. Pick your poison, whatever you're fine with. And he was like, oh, thank you. So this particular day, by then I was back from the trip, and there was an uproar in school. So when I left school, I went to space to tell him what happened, because I was going to go to my house and I was going to be at home until the uproar settles. I said I stopped by his place to tell him that, see what happened, blah blah blah. I'm going to be home for at least days or weeks, depending on how long it takes for the whole uproar to calm down. So I just let him say hello to you before going home. I was like, cool. So while I was, chilling, just chilling in his place, his cousin came around. I think she had come the week before to ask him for money, because he told me that she had come the week before with her friend to ask for money, and he promised her that he would give her the next week. So she came the next week with her friend to ask for the money, that they wanted to go to the movies. Film House was doing a promo or something like that. So and he goes, I don't have money. I was watching there, I was laughing, right? She came, I was begging me that, please let me talk to her brother, blah blah blah, that she promised her last week that she wants to go to the movie, blah blah blah. Next thing I overheard her whispering to her friend. Her friend was whispering something like, let them go and see some guy or something like that to give them money. When I heard that, it kind of worried me a bit. I didn't know I heard it, they were whispering, but I heard. I was like, I don't know how these girls live their lives on a normal day, but since you said it's a promo, I mean, how much is it? This movie was showing, she said it was showing that day for, I think, 700 or so. I don't even remember, but it wasn't much really. So I'm like, you know what? Let me give these girls money for them to go to the movies. By the time they finish watching that movie they want to watch, it would have been late a bit and they had to go home. It's better for them to go and see some guy that will probably take advantage of the fact that they came to ask for money for movies or something like that. So, but obviously, I wasn't going to tell her cousin that I heard her say they're going to guest place. I don't want trouble. I just called out to the side. I was like, how far now? She said you want to watch me. She said, yes. You want to watch me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, fine. I don't have cash, but you can just follow me to the ATM at the bus stop. I'll just give you guys a little cash. You can go and see your movie. Sha, make sure you go to the movie straight. And for movies, you go home. That's what I told her. She was like, yes. I was like, please, I just like jokingly, let's be our secret. Don't tell your cousin that I gave you money. Just, girls thing, just, it was just really, I was just having fun with the girls, basically. And they were like, okay, cool. To the bus stop, she and her friend, give them money, and, thank you, and they left. And I came back, and he kept bothering me, like, what happened? What did you? And I'm like, oh, I gave them, I told them to follow me to the ATM so I can give them just small money to go to watch the movies. She said the movie is on promo and it's really not so much. I have a little money in my account. To be honest, I didn't even have so much that time, but I knew that I could spare that, I think 2K I gave her. I can't remember how much I gave her, but I know there wasn't more than 2K. So like I knew that I could spare that 2K even though I really didn't have so much, right? And do you know this guy? Instead of him to thank me, your cousin was here the week before to beg you for money. You're the one who told me, and you promised her for the next week. She comes again, and you want to send her away again without transport, without anything. He was like, how will I give her 2K? That small girl, what will she need 2K for? That he's here, he's broke, and he's on me to give him money, or to keep the money, and I'm taking money to give him that small girl for. I was like, you think she's so small? You must be joking. And he just kept ranting, and I got really pissed off because I'm like, what exactly did I do wrong? I was such an angry person, to be honest. So next time I just told him, you're so ungrateful, because I could not understand the anger. I just told him, you're so ungrateful. Like, I literally did it, and I didn't ask for your thank you. The one who insisted to know what happened. But I expect that me telling you, at least you should, I think I deserve a thank you or something. I was standing at the door and he was trying to go out. So next thing, he just charged towards the door, pushed me down, and then started hitting me in my head. You tell me I'm... Guys, for a minute or two, all I was seeing was black. I was really afraid that I was going to have a concussion or something, because all I remember is like blows to my head, and everywhere was black for a little while. Next thing, he was really, you know, when someone's angry and the person's hands are, you know, shaking. That's how angry he was. By the time I managed to see stuff, I noticed he was still shaking. And then he took those clothes I bought from Ghana, which he didn't give me money to buy, by the way, and everything, and the other 2 tops I bought to wear with that top. He brought everything out, and he was just tearing it, like, you know, Shebi, you bought this one for me to tearing it. Shebi, I'm ungrateful. He tear, like, this, especially the one I bought from Ghana. That top is solid, but in that anger, he held it, and the thing was just tearing. That was when I was like, when it happened, my head was a mess because he had hit me. Remember, I was planning to go home. I couldn't even go home like that because there's no way they would see me at home and not know that something happened. So I had to go to my friend's place. I couldn't believe at the moment I got to her area, like I've never reached her house area, he started calling me. You know, that behavior, that psycho behavior, begging and everything. I was like, I can't. This person wants to kill me. And literally the next day, because I spent the night in her place, the next day I felt sick. And we all knew that was what caused it. I felt sick. She helped me get me drugs. I had to get a bit better before I went home, you know, on the 3rd day. And I had to act normal. This guy would not stop coming to my house. He would come to my area and waiting for me for whenever I come out, for him to almost go on his knees. I told him I am not doing beating you and you're still in a relationship. Hey, please don't be like me, that did not have sense on time. Maybe I was waiting for someone to slap me into a coma before I had sense. Don't do that. Once you start seeing signs of someone having some serious temperament issues, please carry your leg and run. And run, because just a matter of time before that anger turns to him hitting you, and before you know it, he hits you. Shebi, this one I was telling you, his hand that he was using to box me. Another name is bottle, use and break your head. What do you want to say happened to you when you could have carried your 2 left legs around for your life? I beg you. This guy, this time around, he begged and begged. He had to get his mother into the situation. That's when he had to explain to his mother there was a woman beater. And his mother was like, what? Apparently, his father was somewhat like that. So his parents were separated and he hated his dad so much. Only for him to turn out to be like him, or probably even worse. Because he never told me his dad hit his mom, but he said he was always cursing at her and abusing her emotionally and verbally. I don't know if he ever turned physical, but then you were worse. You are technically worse, dude. Which is why, if a parent, also this is for you, know that your actions also have consequences, not just on you but on your kids as well. and your kids will be seeing these things, and before you know it, they incorporate it and start to behave like that, subconsciously or consciously, whichever one it is, to be honest. So if you're in a violent relationship, this is your cue to leave. If you're the kind of person that's very insecure, you might want to look inward and find out what the cause of your insecurity is and try to deal with it, and stop projecting it onto your partner, because it's not you. Then also, if you have a guy chasing you and being all over you, please don't think it's love. Not necessarily love. It could be, it could not be. It depends. You need to check. You need to look out for red flags. You need to be careful, because sometimes it's just obsession. I think he was obsessed, because there are a lot of obsessive behaviors here and there. I can't talk about everything because this video will take forever. So please, if you fall in that category, look well, look deep, and just basically be careful. And any red flags, just opt and leave. Don't wait until you're so into the thing and you don't even know what to do next, or until the day you find yourself in a coma or in your grave, God forbid, before you give yourself sense. Please. Anyways, long story short, I broke up with him. I broke up with him after some time, and the day I did break up with him, it was in public. Because if you have this kind of person in your life, do not break up with them in an enclosed place, because you might not come out of there alive. Do not do that. I broke up with him in public, and he begged me for a while, thinking that maybe it's just one of my I am angry episodes and I'm going to snap out of it and we'll be back together. But several times I looked at him in the eyes and I'm like, look, listen, I'm done. I am done. And I advise you move on, because I have moved on. I remember him months later, I saw him and he was still trying to convince me, to take him back. And he made a statement. He said, and he might not have so much, but that's one thing he always gave me, so much attention, so much love, that I would never find love like that again. That I might see someone who has money, who is cute, whatever, but they would not give me the kind of attention and love, always wanting to be around me, like I would want it again. And those are the kind of things these people tell you to make you feel like if you leave, you're missing out on something. But by then, guess what? I had given myself sense, and I had strength, and I told him, I'll take my chance. If I never find that kind of love again, it is what it is. But guess what? I have found that kind of love. Dude, have you? Have you found your own kind of love? Do you not have the person you control? He kept telling me he has changed, he's a different person. I told him, I'm happy for you, but I don't think I want to be the one to experiment your change. I don't want to figure out if you've changed or not. I guess your next girl will be so blessed and lucky, but no thanks, I will pass. So if you have this kind of person in your life making you feel like they're the best you ever have, please move on. Let them go. Run for your life. Let me know in the comment section if you experience kind of violent relationship, or probably not as violent as this, maybe not physical abuse, maybe verbal abuse, emotional abuse, or both, or all of them put together. Let me know in the comment section. Let's talk, let's chat, and see how we can help each other. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in my next video. Bye.